All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Crew Show with a little 49er video as we take a look at some of the sound from Ninerland earlier today. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krueger Show. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Get some brisket. Get some brisket chili. Tell them Krug sent you. We're also brought to you by our good friends at Claw Daddy Arcades. They're a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to find a location near you. They got brand new spots in Capitola and Visalia malls opening later on this year. All right, let's talk a little Niners. We're going to play some sound here, and we're going to react to some of the sound of the day. We're going to start with Kyle Shanahan. And the first thing that he talks about, I asked him today about the joint practices that are coming up with the Denver Broncos. And, you know, is he going to get together with Sean Payton and kind of map the thing out? And here's what he had to say.
They sent a bunch of stuff over.
In these joint practices, Kyle, will you get on the horn with Payton and hammer out a script, or is that somebody on your staff that does that? And is there some flexibility on the day of the practice to kind of switch it up?
Yeah, always. You always got to work together, especially you understand what each teams are going through and you got to see how they are. Usually the team always sends over suggestions and the home team kind of picks out what you do. They sent a bunch of stuff over. We worked on it yesterday when the players were off, and I'm sure Sean and I will talk the day before he gets here.
So there you go. It sounds like the home team has the, I don't want to say the advantage, but they kind of take the lead in the whole, you know, are you going to, you know, what are we going to do? And it's a lot of the home team that gets to decide that stuff as far as these joint practices. Kyle has stated in the past that he really thinks the joint practices are, you know, better and more useful than the preseason games themselves, which is pretty shocking if you think about it. When you think about, you know, it's like these preseason, you think of the preseason games, the game would be better than a practice, but no. And as far as Kyle's concerned, the practice is better than the game. So here we go. Here's another one from Shanahan. And this is Shanahan talking about the speed at receiver. And the Niners have signed a lot of speed at receiver the last couple of days with Robbie Chosen and Andy Isabella. And I asked him if it's a change in philosophy at all, or just the way it's shook out. Here's what he had to say.
In these joint practices, Kyle, will you get on the horn with Payton and
wait a second. That was the previous one. So we'll stop sharing that. Let's see. So that was the first one. Okay, here we go. Here is the second one. This is the one we want to share with the screen on, and you guys can check it out right here. Here's Kyle Shanahan talking a little bit about the speed receiver question that I asked him. Here we go.
Kyle, last year you guys were 32nd in wide receiver separation. This year you're adding a lot of speed. Isabella today, Chosen. Is that by design? I mean, do you have a change in philosophy with what you want to see at wide receiver?
No, we just try to get the best available. Sometimes that's the fastest guy available. Sometimes it's the biggest, strongest. I mean, whatever it is. But, you know, you try to always have 12 guys in training camp. And we got a few guys that are hurt and can't go, especially with BA, because you got to count on your roster with him being up and everything. So we're down on numbers there. Those guys run all camp. And would always love to add more speed. And if it's available and if they're good players, and those were two guys who can run, we were happy to add. Isabella went down with an ankle today, so I know he had a setback, so we didn't get him out there today. Hopefully it's not too bad, though.
So there you go. It's not a change in philosophy. It's just, you know, they want the best they can find, period. And if it happens to be a speed guy, it's a speed guy. And if it's not, then it's not. So no change in overall philosophy. But the Niners have added a lot of speed at wide receiver, and it kind of makes you wonder. The first question I asked Kyle today was about the quarterback, because they cut Tanner Mordecai, and they're clearly going forward with Carter Bradley, Gus Bradley's son, which is really interesting. And I actually think Carter Bradley's got a lot of talent. He's got a really good arm. And I asked Kyle about it today, and here's what he had to say about the new situation at quarterback.
Kyle, what do you like about Carter Bradley more than Mordecai that caused you to move on?
I mean, really, we brought him in not thinking we'd make a move that day, but he did so well in our workout that went back and watched his 38 passes that he had in the preseason last year, and we wanted to get him in here so he could compete with Tanner. Then after some of the things that happened to practice, last practice, there's a number of D linemen. We just couldn't have the luxury to have two of them, especially with Rourke being on PUP too, because he's got to count. So maybe there's a chance we can get Tanner back. We'll see how this roster goes, but like the chance to work with Bradley right now.
So there you go. I mean, they wanted to keep them all, but ultimately, when they had the injuries on the defensive line, that kind of forced their hand as far as the roster was concerned, and he needed to find a roster spot anywhere he could, and so he took Mordecai's spot. He did say that Mordecai could return, but it sounds like they prefer Carter Bradley. And you know, the NFL, you don't get forever, you know. And I thought Mordecai had some real good traits that I really liked, but you don't get forever. You just don't. It's simple as that. And you got to make the most of your opportunities, and you got to continue to get better. But man, what a topsy-turvy world. I mean, this just paints the picture. Can you imagine if you're Tanner Mordecai? I mean, literally a few days ago, it seemed like, okay, Rourke's going to be on the PUP or the NFI or whatever you want to call it. He's out for the year. And you got Purdy, he's the 1, and Mac is the 2, and I'll be the 3, and I'll probably be on the practice squad. But I could be on the active roster, but I'm likely locked into that number 3 spot. Instead, a couple days later, they pick up Carter Bradley. Now there's a roster, crunch because of injuries. And now you haven't even played a preseason game and you're cut. So, I mean, life in the NFL, life moves fast in the National Football League. It's really as simple as that. All right, let's share the screen here. This is Dom Puni talking about Guerendo. He talked a little bit about Guerendo. I asked him about Guerendo, and here's what the combo. Dom had said earlier this week that he really liked the combo of CMC and Guerendo. We talked about it today.
Dom, you made a comment about CMC and Guerendo. Looking forward to having them together this year. What do you envision for that combo this year?
A lot of touchdowns and a lot of yards.
What do you think of Guerendo this year? Watching him,
he looks way more comfortable within the offense. He's hitting the gaps exactly how he needs to. Coach Bobby Turner does a great job getting them ready, and CMC obviously I know what to expect from him. But Guerendo, yeah, man, I'm excited because when he hits a gap, he's gone. Obviously, the run he had in the Seattle game was just a flash of his game. So I'm super excited for him, man. He's a tough guy.
Yeah, to me, if there's one, now we're not going to see Guerendo for a couple weeks here, but if there's one thing that I'm really excited about offensively, it's Guerendo. It's Guerendo with McCaffrey and what potentially that could look like as a combination. You're going to have to move the ball differently without Ayuk and with no Debo. And Guerendo, I think, can catch the ball, especially on some of that stuff out of the backfield. That's really, high percentage throws. And then, you heard Dom say there, the Seattle 76-yard run was just a glimpse. And, what I've noticed a lot in camp is that Niners have a number of plays where, the flow's going one side and here's Guerendo leaking out on the backside. And I just feel like there's going to be big play potential for Guerendo. He is the guy that I think is going to be really, really good this year. All right, let's hear one more from the great Dom Puni. The guy that I love watching, and I race down to see the O-line, D-line one-on-ones every day to see my guy, Sebastian Valdez, who I never heard of. And watching this guy dominate is just awesome, and he continues to dominate. And I asked Puni about him today, and Puni's like, I haven't gone against him, but then he had something good to say. Listen to this little exchange about the undrafted defensive tackle, Sebastian Valdez.
Tom, you mentioned some of the undrafted guys. What's it like banging heads with Valdez, the undrafted rookie?
I actually haven't gone against him yet, but from what I see, we call him the Hulk. He looks crazy. He's really built. He's fast. He's twitchy. He's good off the ball. He gives us trouble in one-on-one pass situations because he's really twitchy and he's got good hands. But once he gets going, he's going to be a problem. I think they got to go with him.
Yeah. You see it. I mean, it's this guy. He first of all, he's got 34 reps at 225. That's Valdez, right? Valdez 34 reps at 225. So that would have been number one of all defensive tackles invited to the combine had he been invited to the combine. So that right there. So I mean, just think about it. It's like, think about a baseball player who can hit the fastball and he can hit the breaking ball. And it's like, it doesn't matter what you throw him, he can hit it, right? Well, then you watch Valdez and he can beat you with power because he's the strongest cat there is. So all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this guy can bull rush you and just take your manhood. I mean, he puts guys on roller skates. So he's got that ability. Then he's got these great hands, and you just kind of saw Dom kind of almost imitate it there. And he gets this crazy, he gets crazy pass rush because he's so good with his hands. He can get on the edges and he charges at the quarterback. I mean, this guy beats you with power. He can beat you with speed. He can beat you stripe on a stripe, as they say, head up, or he can take an edge and get there. And he's ripped. He's strong. He's fast. He's dominant. He's fun to watch, man. I mean, I love watching this guy, Sebastian Valdez. Just crazy. It's crazy that he's good. And he's just, I mean, the Niners really got something there. And you just heard Puni say it. And that's kind of one of the reasons I love going down and talking to the players, because there's a lot of honesty. These guys are pretty honest at the end of the day. All right. So that's a little stuff there off of Kevin Krueger's Twitter. All right. Now we're going to play a little bit of some Coach Yak, some of the Upton Stout sound. Upton Stout had himself a day. And then he told everybody afterwards that he's been talking to Jauan Williams. And it's really pretty cool. So we'll share the screen and let you guys hear this one. This is Upton Stout talking a little bit about Jauan Williams, the former Niner nickel corner. And here's a little Upton Stout.
You reached out to Jauan Williams.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Really just reaching out to him just so I could just pick his brain and see like how he played, a lot of concepts, technique, and things like that. Really just trying to figure out like how I could be the best me, but always knowing like what the standard was before I came in. I just want to see what the standard was and see if I could try to surpass that standard.
Are you kidding me? I mean, that's like cornerback 5.0. I mean, that is very cool. So this kid is really special, man. He's really special. So we interviewed him a week after the draft. He had already contacted the Niners about getting tapes of last year so he could research what they did last year and watch their defense. This is before he'd even been there for a week. Kid is really special. He wants to be good. He's also been pretty impressed by Russell Gage, and he shared that today with the media, that the veteran receiver has kind of opened his eyes a little bit. And here's talking about Russell.
Won your first one-on-one versus Russell Gage today.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole defensive group jumped up and down. I mean, what does it feel like to have that support behind you and then just to go through that rep?
Honestly, amazing, just because like all the guys, like one-on-ones, it's for the receivers, but everybody know like we always got to get our little win. So it's like going against a dude like Gaze, who's like a real vet. So it's like anytime he's going up there, I'm trying to hurry up and get the best of him and or get any type of rep I can against him, just because I know what the type of mentality he's gonna come to the line. So it's like I know if I can get a win against him, then I know it's like, okay, I might be doing something good. So me seeing after the play, me seeing all the guys rally behind me, it was real turn. It was real fun at that time.
Always light up against him with one-on-ones.
Yeah, always. Just because the type of release package he has and just the type of how savvy he is as a receiver. I know like I won't get that from a lot of other receivers. So it's like I'd rather just try to go against the best of the best every time.
You have to talk to the coaches about making sure that was the lineup, that's who you're going up against.
No, it was just really like something like it's just a competitive thing, like just seeing like what's the work out there and just really just anybody who goes up there, like I'll line up against them, but it's like somehow after everybody goes and me and him always just end up going back against each other again.
What's that relationship been like with him?
Oh, it's been competitive. You know, he wins some. Sometimes I might win a couple, but it's like he been winning. So it's like it's been fun. Really, just trying to soak up as much game as I could against the vets, and really just seeing how I'm matching up against everybody. So it's been fun.
You're talking about the
Man, I really love this kid. And this is everything you want, man. I mean, what you're looking at here is the prototype, not necessarily size-wise because he's only 5'8", but what he's the prototype as far as what you want as far as professionalism and attention to detail. I mean, this guy, Upton Stout, I mean, this guy's all about it. You know, came in serious as a heart attack, wants to play, wants to play right away. So he's going to have a lot of success, man. He is going to have a lot of success. Really fun to watch. And he was the best player on the field today. PBU, tackle against the run, aggressive tackle against the run. I mean, he was really good. He was really good. All right, we're going to share the screen a little bit more Dom Puni. Here's Dom's scouting report. This is off Coach Yak's Twitter on the Niner trio of rookies with Alfred Collins and Mykel Williams and CJ West. Everybody wants to know about the rookies, and they got to ask Big Dom Puni about it.
Aggressive, powerful, strong, quick off the ball. All three of them do a great job, and even the undrafted guys. Coach does a great job of getting them going. I don't know if you guys hear them in Indy. He's always screaming. So, they're doing a great job. Mykel is a hell of a player. He is what they drafted. They got what they were looking for out of him. CJ, very powerful person, can shed a block very easily. He just got to get comfortable within the defense. And Alfred is just like the largest person ever. So like he's just a problem. He's going to take up two people all the time. And he's hard to move, man. So
there you go, little Dom Puni. And when he says in Indy, that's football player talk for individual drills. In the individual drills, you hear Chris Kasarik yelling and screaming. And then let's hear from Kyle Shanahan. We got one here from Kyle that I really want on Jauan Jennings, and I want you guys to watch this. We'll share the screen on this one. You can see Kyle, and we can go through this. This is Kyle was asked about Jauan Jennings today, and Jennings' calf injury. And I think this is kind of interesting because, to me, this could have gone a lot of different ways, right? There was so much talk about at the beginning of camp, day one. What's up with JJ? What's up with JJ? Everybody, the first day, people forget. It's day 10 now. People forget. But day one was JJ. Is he going to hold out? JJ. Is he going to hold in? What's up with Jennings? What's Jennings going to do? And I think the Niners just wanted to sidestep that whole media circus, and they didn't want it to be a big story. So Jennings probably wanted to hold in, but decided to come out in the first game and play. And so everybody was like, oh, look at Jennings. He's the world's greatest. He's not holding out. He's not holding in. He just shows up and plays. And then like 2 days later, he had this calf injury, and he's basically been out ever since. And what's interesting about it is nobody gives us an update on the calf. Nobody says anything about the calf. Just he's got the calf. Do we see him stretching it? No. Do we see him working with the trainer? No. But he's got a calf. And he hasn't played since the beginning of camp. But he's not holding out. But he's not holding in. But he's got a calf. And then here's Shanahan asked about the calf, and let's just listen to what he says and how he says it.
Anything new on Jauan Jennings?
Same thing with his calf.
It's definitely health related, not business related.
You can ask him that, but he tells me it's his calf, and the calf shows. So it's got to be delicate with those calves.
So you can ask him that. He's telling us it's a calf. But you can ask him that. Is it business? Cam Inman said, is it business related or is it medical related? You can ask him that, but he told us it's a calf. So I don't know. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that last thing I'm doing is saying Jennings is lying. I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying is they didn't want it to be a story. If he had showed up and not practiced, he's holding in. If he didn't show up, he's holding out. But then he did show up and he practiced for a day. And the whole story went away. The hold in, nobody talks about it. The hold out, nobody talks about it. Jauan Jennings contract, nobody talks about it. It's just, we know he wants a new contract. We know he's got a contract. We know the team likes him. So what's going on here? I personally think that it's a hold in. I just think he doesn't want to hold out. So he's showing up, but he didn't want to get raked over the coals for holding in. He doesn't want to be I don't think he wants to be a distraction. I don't think the team wants the whole thing to be a distraction. So they're just like, yeah, he's got a calf. But does he have a calf, or does he have, will a few $1 million more of guaranteed money on his contract make the calf better? Is it medically related or is it contractually related? I don't think we're ever getting the answer, but I think it's probably contractually related. That'd be my guess. And one more here from Kyle Shanahan. And he's weighing in on the guy that I think is the player of the day today, and that was Upton Stout. Here's what Shanahan had to say about his young corner.
He was a guy that, I thought he had a hell of a training camp. So, he was a guy that, knowing that nickel position was open, that was one of the reasons we invested that draft pick, and I'm hoping he can come in and do it right away. And he looked that way in OTAs, and he's looking that way so far now.
Willis was saying yesterday that he's Stout, like watching old film all the time. He's always very early. Have you seen that from him too? What does that say about just him as a rookie? It's kind of
yeah, it's he's made of the right stuff. Like, a lot of guys got to learn it, but he hasn't had to learn it. Yeah, you can tell he was that way in college because he came in right away like that. He's on everything. He's one of the bigger competitors that I've seen coming in as a rookie, and every day he's doing as much as he can on and off the field, and that's why he's passing a lot of guys up.
Yeah, it's been one of the great stories, Upton Stout. And as I said, he hit the ground running. It's like the first week he contacted the Niners. Send me 24 tape. I want to see 24 tape. By the time we had sat down with him a week later, he had watched the 2024 tape and had a pretty good idea of what the Niners did on defense. So he's all about it. And you hear Shanahan say, hey, man, he's made of the right stuff. If you're a great athlete, that's one thing. But if you're a great athlete who's also a great, has great intellect, that's another. If you're a great athlete with great intellect and great work ethic, that's the holy grail, man. That's what you're looking for. And that's what this kid is. Now, would I rather him be 6'3" instead of 5'8"? Yeah. But that's the only thing that you don't like about the kid, is that he's 5'8". He's a rock. He's strong. He's good against the run. He's good against the pass. He's in his playbook. He's serious about football. He's all about having success. He wants to start immediately, day one. He wants to be great. That's... If the Niners could clone Upton Stout in his attitude, they would. They would. That's what you want right there, is Upton Stout. You want great athletes. He's a great athlete. It's funny, Mel Kiper put him in his article right before the draft, like guys that, by position that I just, best, my favorite guy by position. And when it came down to the nickel corner, he's like Upton Stout, Western Kentucky. This guy's the real deal. And man, if Mel ain't right, Mel was absolutely pegged this one. The Mel Shador Sanders prediction, not so much. But his Upton Stout and Nick Martin love, yeah, it looks awfully good here in Niner camp. All right, that does it for us. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krueger Show. Thanks to our good friends at Claw Daddy Arcades for sponsoring this video. They're a great follow at Claw_Daddy_Arcades. And thanks to all of you for supporting the Krueger Show on YouTube.